Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jaraci Cup 8. What am I trying to say? I don't know, but we're going to do a little bit of a twist here. We're moving on to the lower bracket, actually. Going to cast the Semifinals B from the lower bracket. Just because we're curious about this game between Cabel and rsabo M.E.S here. Both of them are in the chat, so say hi if you like or whatever. Looks like it's going to be Galzian vs Coalition. Let me check the info.txt. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Okay, here we go. So rsabo has the pick first. It looks like he's the higher seed, so he takes Coalition. And Cabel going to Galzian to match it. Bans Canyon Outpost, and rsabo bans Galzian Territories and picks Firebase Curl for game 1. Cabel picks the Boneyard and Torn Crater, rsabo picks Kartoba, and Cabel picks Titan Passage. By the way, this info.txt is like a thing of beauty. Oh my gosh. Looks very, very clean. Anyway, this will be a fun one to watch. GVC, of course, kind of that classic matchup in the game. It's like the Terran versus Zerg of DOK. Cabel's a player who I've had my eye on. Kind of like No Fun back in the day. No Fun, sure enough, did indeed, you know, reach the top tier at some point, I'd say, although he's fallen off a bit since then. But Cabel, this is his first tournament. He's in the semifinals of the lower bracket, so he's got to feel pretty good about that. LEV Fab first looks like coming out from rsabo M.E.S here. He does have 6 salvagers up, keeps that base burner, so he's going to be able to do some LEV pressure if he likes. But it looks like he's actually teching straight to AAV tech instead. His timing's a little bit slow, but that's okay. And this PC from Cabel, driving up to the base of his opponent. Looks like he wants to go for some kind of an aggressive build here. Cabel's been a fan of the Rail Rush from what I've seen before, and it does look like he's stacking up the RUs for it. This is about the time where he can do a quick drop and grab the money for that tech. So I would not be surprised if he clicks on it now. Yep, it is going to be a Rail Rush then from Cabel. An AAV response from rsabo M.E.S is not terrible, but you need to be aware that they are difficult to play properly against this. But also having kind of a suboptimal timing here, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. So it's good for him that he goes for the carry production upgrade here, but if he figures out it's Rail Rush, which he can't really know just by seeing this, he'd need the probe down by his opponent's carrier, but he really wants to stop building AVs once he figures out that it's Rail Rush and just build LAVs instead. Try and get that Strikecraft superiority. It's a tough one to play though, and if your opponent is good at a Rail Rush, he's gonna be persistent and stick on you for a long time, so Skins here at a kind of a funny angle. They've actually gotten kind of behind the carry here. Just gonna hit on that logistics model just a little bit, and as I always say, not in a romantic way. AV's out though, so that should shut down the initial skimmer pressure here. We do have the first assault railgun already on the queue for Cabel, so yeah, this is gonna be very, very high tempo for Cabel, and he doesn't need to get a second PC until his opponent starts LAV spamming. In the meantime, turret here for rsabo might be nice to just hold off the might be nice to hold off the aggro from these skins for now. You can even maybe put the turret a bit aggressively like up here, but then you risk losing it to the assault railguns, so up to him how he wants to play that. But I think the turret would be a fine choice here. He's actually going to put it just behind the hill, which is not great. This turret I don't think is going to have line of sight against units who are on the other side of the hill from it. It did get set down, didn't it? Oh, he didn't have money. So it's only just now getting set down. Cabel, by the way, has the money to go for a second PC now if he wants to. That might not be a bad call, but he can also actually go for heavy railguns and then get the... Oh, wants to watch out with this assault rail, though. Okay, does manage to keep it alive. He could even go heavy rails and get the EMP upgrade, because that can let him kind of siege down this turret position a little bit better. rsabo, by the way, smoking it very diligently. I'm not exactly sure why now, though. It is, I think, as I suspected. This does not have line of sight over that dune. We'll see in a moment, though. Yeah. So, a little bit of a suspect turret placement. You have to imagine the base runner drops the turret right behind where it's standing, so... Oh! Manages to get sight here, though. Hits those assault railguns really hard. If rsabo had kept vision up, he would have been able to kill off the assault railguns with that turret there, which would have been quite nice for him. So the problem for Cabel, then, is that he needs to be close up to kill this turret, but he needs to be far away to kill these AVs. So... But see, this is exactly what Cabel wants, though, because if rsabo pushes out with the AVs, he's like, okay, now I can trade against these AVs exactly how I want to. Should have finished the kill on that other AV with the assault rails, though, but it's okay. He's gonna be... Well, actually, it is kind of bad. He doesn't... Wait, he can hit the turret from here? Oh my gosh. Well, that changes things. That's quite fortuitous for Cabel here. He does, by the way, have 2 PCs out now. So rsabo actually going to bring the carrier to bear here, but he's also going for fighter and gunship. But I think this is kind of the wrong move on both counts, because you can fight these ARs if you have LAVs. There's no skims here to protect. And the carrier, you know, you don't have a support cruiser, so if you move out, you lose eco. So still, though, Cabel losing more assault railguns to these AVs than he really should. He needs to back away on this angle, too, yeah. Ooh, this is going to be tough. Yeah, he's going to die here. He could transition to ref mode then if he wants to cancel the rush here, but he could also stay in. He's actually got a lot of money now that I look at it, so he could kind of do both if he wanted to. But the fact that his opponent has fighter and gunship means it'd be kind of convenient for him if he stays in, but he doesn't know that, so... Yeah, it is going to be ref mode that he goes for, so he's going to back away off of this. Transition to the mid game then. He still has the better army on the field, I would say, so he can do this. It's going to be okay. Shouldn't usually be pushed by these AAVs here. Nearly gets the kill on that base runner, but just not quite. Let's be careful with these ARs, though, because if they get too close, it's going to be bad times. Yep, wants to back them away. Bit of a bad rally here on the ARs. This is risky, though, to push in here at all. He's got the dart, too. Yeah, he's going to dart away. Rail armor would also be really impactful here, but he's obviously teching ref mode, so he can't go for that now. Oh boy. I think if he just waits to heal up a little bit, he's going to be in a good spot. But having ref mode done, though, he really wants to back these PCs over here. Either that, or he could come try to take his opponent's second base. That's always kind of funny, but... yeah, there we go. He does want to go back to his bases. Dart maneuver used over here to try and get the assault rails onto this AAV here. Oh no, they're target firing the base runner though. Strike Fighter shows up, but it just kind of instantly gets chunked, so that's kind of nice for him. And now that he knows about it, yep, Missile Ship Tech gonna be following up just right away. And he can kill this turret now just by clicking on it. It's not gonna be very hard to finish off at this point. So at this point, all Cabel needs to do is just go for a lot of eco, and then after Missile Ship Fab is done, get those out. But for now, he ought to keep the army back home, because obviously it can take a lot of damage to these strike fighters. And it's very much unrequited, you don't get anything for that, so... Really best he just leaves the army back where the PCs can cover them. But it looks like he's going to send them out anyway. So the strike fighters are here, they're going to try to get some kills on these assault rails. Sandskimmers, though, have a mind to take out the space runner. He will deny the extraction. Oh. Skim's taking quite a bit of damage over there. The problem is, again, these skims can just be killed, though, and you don't get anything for this. There's not any reason to really do this. You can lead these guys back home while you build missile ships, you know, and you'll be okay. Gunship is coming out as well, by the way, so... Oh, I like the Death Pack attempt there from rsabo. It misses a little bit, but he may keep the Salvager alive. Just needs to smoke it again here. Yeah, look at that. He's actually going to keep it alive, and all of these skims are going to die for it, too. 4 HP on that bad boy. You love to see it. Or you hate to see it, depending on who you are. Still, though, Cabel kind of fibbing the unit control here, but he's still ahead. He's on 2 base, and he's going to be on 3 in a moment. So, he's got a lot of anti-air, that's for sure. Super sad times for me. Yeah, indeed. Indeed it is. This isn't exactly how you want to use AVs against a rail rush, right? I feel like rsabo's getting a little bit lucky here, but he's not doing too badly. And Cabel definitely controlling the assault rails poorly, I would say. Normally you shouldn't really take losses to them. One thing you gotta be... Oh, this is gonna be bad, though. Yikes. Yeah, that's 2 dead strike fighters. 1, actually. It looks like this guy gets out. Missiles have AoE, but they don't always do full damage, obviously, so... Does manage to get that guy out. Anyway, when your opponent's building AVs, like, if you lose assault rails to AVs, maybe it's just a sign you're not quite microing the assault rails right. In that case, you can make things a bit easier for yourself by going for heavy rails instead. And they will still do damage to AVs, and then you can get the EMP upgrade. And if your opponent transition... Oh gosh, this guy's gotta get out of here. If your opponent then transitions into, like, LAVs and stuff, those heavy rails are still valuable for you, because that EMP upgrade is going to do a lot of damage against the LAVs, so... Looks like carrier being committed here by Cabel. He wants to get that one onto the second base, as it is anyway. But he really needs railguns is what he needs. He's got the money for it too, but he's fleet capped, so... Definitely this is a trend I've seen from Cabel so far, though. Doesn't quite spend his money enough, so let's get these guys out of danger as well. It could save them. I don't think they have to die here. Oh, yikes. You're gonna lose another salve, so he gets 3 for that push there. And rsabo is moving up onto 2 base, so I mean, at some point, you know, he's actually gonna have eco of his own too. You can't lose too much to these things. Honor Guard's gonna be a good call though, because of course that's anti-air, that's anti-ground. Like, it's gonna be good against AVs. And if your opponent transitions into LAVs, it's gonna be fine against them too. I mean, it's not necessarily anti-air, but it can be, right? I think this is just a totally fine late game tech that he's going into. Sandskimmers, meanwhile, want to stop the base burner, and I think that they can, but that gunship is still up, so there's a chance that he could deny it with the gunship. Yeah, and it is going to launch here. Question is, how fast can the skims do their damage, and how quick are Cabel's feet here as far as like splitting the Sandskimmers from that AoE damage from the gunship? He's going to want to get high ground here, though, that's for sure. Well, it's going to be close. Yeah, I think he's got it. Okay. Hold up, where's the gunship? It just kind of circled around for a bit. He will finish off these skims though, so that's kind of nice for him. But there's a lot of missile ships around in the area, so he needs to be careful. He can't just fly anywhere he likes. As for Cabel, I'd really like to see him refill out the space though. He's got honor guards though, so he can, and he's getting a 3rd PC too, so he can do a lot of skims and honor guards. I think that'd be good. I would like to see him not get any more rail upgrades then, and instead go for skims. Getting their armor up would be really, really valuable against these gunships and strike fighters, but really filling out the eco is a big deal here, so. How much armor is this on the AV? 2. He is kind of just driving after his death here, but like, at least it'll take him a while to die. If the gunship was still up, you wouldn't be able to do this, Cabel, but... Trade's 2 for 1, that's a good trade for the Sandskimmers. And first honor guard is on the queue, but he needs to fill out this salvager line. It's still, like, maybe he's not aware that he's missing. Here's a tip then, you can see up on the... Oh my, he actually has an idol here. He has 2 idols over here. Oh no. Yeah, so you can see up on the top here, it'll tell you how many guys you have mining on each base, which means that you can identify if there's like a missaturation. And if you hit F3, you can select idols. So definitely some nice tips to not get you know, missaturated like this. Yeah, it's tough though. It takes a lot of practice. People who are really used to RTS won't have this problem, but unless you've played for a while, it's... Oh, dear. I've said this before about AVs, right? They have a much higher DPS than heavy rails do, so... Oh, man, you really don't want them point blank like this. This is not good. Oh. Sandskimmer's running up on that turret as well. They could actually clear it out, though, and I'd like to see him do that. Well, actually, maybe with the air threat, they really shouldn't. Second barrage is ready to go here. Yeah, there it is. That will finish him off, but one salvager still died on the 3rd base there. Looks like Cabel is going to replace this one, but his rally point is still not on the resources, so he may find that it stays idle. And he still hasn't filled out that 2nd base either, so... I'm getting worried for our lad Cabel here. This is definitely what, let's turn the health bars off there. This is definitely what, I think rsabo M.E.S needs to get back into this. Looks like the Sandskimmers finally want to commit onto the turret here. Sending one guy in on his own is not great, but what you can do is like pop him here and then pull him back, and then it'll waste the whole volley, like not shooting really. Otherwise, you just never want to fight a turret one at a time, because what it does is burst damage. It doesn't really have... Well, actually, it's not really true. It has a lot of sustained damage, but like... It doesn't have health, right? It's kind of like a glass cannon, so if you can jump on it, you'll get the kill. And if you can't, you know, you're gonna suffer. Assault Cruiser tech has been done for a while, by the way. We do have the first one out on the field just now, though. Looks like Honor Guard anti-air is already done. I don't know if he gets this artifact out, Cabel does, but we'll see. Maybe he has a chance at this. But perhaps the honor guard could drive up and turn on that anti-air. Oh man. He's gonna pop the heal, but he's not there yet, so yeah, that is gonna be denied. Both of these players are having some trouble extracting, I think that's fair to say. Hey, Cabel's filled up his eco once again. He's actually still missing one CU miner over here, but and he's got the salvager for it, but he hasn't idle, so. But he's much better in that sense. We do have Science Skimmer rating coming out as well. That's a very good tech, obviously. Speed is very valuable in RTS games. I often go, like, I don't get the damage upgrades though if I've got honor guards, because I feel like the honor guards will do the damage for me, but that armor on the Sand Skimmer is going to be very valuable to let them tank things. Speaking of things to tank, this assault cruiser is here. This Strikecraft blob can very easily go down if the assault cruiser, you know, gets a good engage on it. Being alone like this, not... Oh no, that's not what you want to do. Yeah, so assault cruisers don't really die to Strikecraft, especially if he hits the overcharge ability. Like, look how little damage he's taking, right? Oh, yeah, it's nasty. It's a lot of AoE. Oh. Yikes. Yeah, assault cruisers are like Coalition's ultimate answer to Strikecraft, so you really can't beat them with Sand Skimmers like that. Ah, I see. Yeah, see those turrets there? They rotate and they can shoot at them. This gunship probably a goner though, right? One more volley from the HEC anti-air will do it. Does get it off. Is he gonna get the dock off in time? Those are pretty slow missiles. Oh, yeah, he does make it. Okay, that was really close there. Makes his way out though. Honor guard anti-air is revealed then, but obviously that tech is still just good, so. And it's going to be artillery coming out from rsabo. I really like that call because we've got a lot of railguns on the field, and our honor guards obviously sometimes can be kind of attrition by artillery as well. But he wants to be careful that he doesn't lose this AC. That's kind of paramount here, so keeping this guy in the front line is not really what he wants to do. He wants to back him out. At this point, I'd also still think EMP rounds are really nice for Cabel here, because look how many heavy rails he's got, right? Well, he's actually got a lot of heavy rails here. He's got even more than I thought. So EMP would be nice because you can stun lock these ACs for a long time, and if you do that, well, this guy may just die anyway. Oh boy. But if you can stun lock those ACs, you know, you're never gonna, like, lose things to them, so, you know, you've got a lot of damage that can come out onto them. And they're not gonna be able to push through, so that forces them to play defensively rather than offensively, which is what they would like to do ideally. For now, though, it's just Cabel trying to get his first extract out. Wants to power up the healing on his carrier, though, keep this guy healthy. It's very easy to throw your carrier to assault cruisers if you don't keep it at full health. And, I mean, even then, frankly, but... Attack Missile Barrage firing into the Fog of War there for rsabo. Not gonna land on anything. It's a bit of a waste of cooldown. Oh, but Cabel really making me nervous. Gotta power up that carrier. Artillery also starting to wail on this carrier here. He's got a barrage actually set onto this honor guard. I don't know if he notices. It's not a precision barrage though, so he's not dying super fast here, but he does want to get this guy out of danger. Yikes. Carry's at half now for Cabel, but rsabos carry going in here though is definitely an overextend though, because obviously there's so many railguns here, right? This is a dangerous place for carry to be. He needs to power up the armor and just get out of there. Strike Fighters, it looks like, gonna launch here to try and get something done, but there's so much anti-air in the field. Yeah, Honor Guard anti-air gonna be used as well. Now that does mean that the Assault Cruiser maybe can get in, but... Okay, these rails need to kite a little bit better, but they are gonna kill all of the air units from rsabo. Like, every single one, actually. That's worth losing a couple railguns for. Missile Ship can barrage here as well to save these rails. He doesn't even need it, so he's going to keep those guys alive. This is why that EMP would be really nice though, right? Because in a situation like this, you can just stun lock them and they can't get out. But he does manage to kill both of the ACs. Forces that carrier out. Now these skims here, this is about the time that they want to jump in, but he's got a very good thing going here on the extraction area, so this is not bad at all. He wants to double extract now if he can. Looks like this AC has thoughts to stopping the base burner though. Bit more power and healing might be warranted. Get this guy healed up a little bit faster. The heal ability, yeah, look at that. So he uses the heal ability, which means that this base runner is actually going to get through. That's kind of funny. I mean, not a bad idea to heal up your ACs when they're wounded, but he didn't realize that, like, he needed to stop this base runner here, so... That extract didn't come out for rsabo. First one in the game. Now, he's got a lot of power. I'd love to see it go into this carrier here. This honor guard getting a little bit frisky, though. I don't like him being this close. Because that AC can just kind of jump up here and pop him, right? ACs do a lot of damage against honor guards. They just do a lot of damage in general. Plus he can use the missile barrage here and probably finish the kill already, but... Yeah, when the walls do and don't give line of sight blocking is very, very strange. You learn to get used to it on this map, but it's definitely something that has to be gotten used to. Gunship gonna circle around here a bit, but oh my gosh. Yeah, this is where it wants to be for sure. This is a lot of skims though. I think those armor upgrades would have been really nice to get earlier on for the skims though, because of like this kind of situation, right? They're gonna be feeling quite good about taking a lot longer to die than they would have otherwise. But for sure, like, once the air died, that's when the skims wanted to jump in. And it's one reason why, when your opponent has got anti-air, you really can't throw your air units for it, because generally your air units are doing something else for you on the field that you might not realize. So if you lose them, you lose that too, and you might all of a sudden discover, like, oh shoot. So when the air units jumped out and died here, that's when Cabel should have jumped in, and he probably could have gotten, like, all 3 bases, to be honest. I mean, it would have been really bad. Kind of missed that window, but it's okay. This base runner wants to escape now with the artifact, but this AC's in the hood, and actually this carrier really needs to become scarce. Oh gosh. Attack missile barrage gonna dump onto it. Oh man, this carrier really making me nervous. Just power up the speed and get out of here. This is a dangerous place to be. The railguns need to be in here as well if they're gonna fight. It's 2 artillery cruisers, and this AC here also has the attack missile barrage off of cooldown that he can use. But the honor guards are in the hood now, so... Oh, that's cool. Oh wait, never mind. That's not cool at all. I thought that you could click on this and it would take you to your carrier. Power 5 coming out for Cabel now. I'll give you a tip though, most of your damage comes from the missiles, and if you only have power in weapons, then often the missiles can't fire, so... You're gonna want to power up that missile system, or the range system for sure, as well as just the weapons. Now, it's quite risky for these rails to move through this choke point here. Honor guards are happy on a high ground like this, but they can get killed by the artillery from far away. Uh-oh, really wants to back away from this too. And again, here's a place where rail EMP would be really, really nice, right? Ooh, narrowly dodges that attack missile barrage, but look how bunched up he is. Oh my gosh. Oh, you gotta move! Ah! Oh, man. Now that is a money shot right there. Holy crap. Alright. And a bomber too coming out. Whoa. That's gonna be getting kills too. Honor guard anti-air was already used, so he doesn't have it available now. Oh man, the AoE there, that was just insane. Yeah, this is why typically on this map the railgun player tries not to move into these positions here. Cause like that can hurt. I guess I'll say it that way. This artillery cruiser wants to die too though. If Cabel's on top of it, he may be able to barrage this. Oh, just a little bit too short. Yeah, Cabel needs more anti-air now too, because those bombers are not going to let up. This honor guard needs to back away also. Yeah, a bit of power and range will go a long way here, though. That's for sure. Also, if you use the missile barrage on this artillery cruiser, you'll probably kill it since it's so low. Yeah, with just 1 power and range, and this carrier will do a lot more damage than it has been currently. Looks like the bomber just wants to deny the artifact here. I think it will. Oh no, it's going actually for this HGC. Well, that's probably not a good call, because you can't actually kill it on its own, plus the anti-air, yep, exactly, it's going to go down there. Second bomber could finish the kill on the HGC, but it's actually going to... Whoa, it's going to go on the base runner instead here. Yeah, so unfortunately just splitting the fire there. He didn't lose either of the bombers, to be fair, but he didn't get anything really either. If he goes for the HDC now, he may not even kill it. He's actually gonna go for this base runner, so he does manage to get the kill on that, but it's not worth a whole lot to him, to be honest with you. Sandskimmers, meanwhile, chunking the base, but they usually want to go for the salvagers instead of the SC, because the support cruiser is actually not really that hard to replace. Especially in this late game scenario, there's often support cruisers being produced in the front line that he can just allocate back there, so. Artillery here in the soup, that's not really where he wants to be. Again, missile barrage could be used though, and if he uses a missile barrage like right here, he's going to be very happy. He'll probably get both of these things killed. This artillery cruiser is really just sitting here eating it. Again though, range, I've got to say, if you have range, you'll hit things, but if you don't, like, see this carrier... Yeah, there we go, power's at the range now, finally. And look how much of a difference that's going to make. Now he's going to start killing this artillery cruiser. So, very important to power up the range system. Also, wants to get out of this barrage here if he can. Power 5 is done though, so again, we have that, the Galzian Nuke ready to fire. He's just holding on to it though, he's waiting for the right moment, I suppose. This might be it though, if you put it right behind this carrier so that it can't really retreat, well, he can't stay in either, can he? Because obviously these honor guards are going to chunk him. Or the railguns, that is. Wants to turn on the anti-air here though. Oh boy. Bomber might get out. No, it doesn't. Okay, so the bomber goes down here. Support cruiser being targeted first, not a terrible call. And this carrier will probably follow. Second bomber launches now. But it doesn't really matter, that carrier is going to fall. And Cabel with an interesting build there, wanted to go for Rail Rush, couldn't quite make it work. But he went back to ref mode and managed to take the game. Still though, a bit of a nervous series there, like that AoE on the units coming up the hill here. I still can't get over that, that was insane. So, definitely could have gone either way here. This series is still hot. So we jump into game 2. So game 2 on the Boneyard, going to be between Cabel and rsabo again. Well, obviously that's who was playing before. I don't know why I said that. Cabel has kind of the better spawn if he wants to go for like a rail rush here, and it looks like maybe he does. You can see he's got 2 salves coming already. There's the probe, or the scanner that is. Gonna retire this base burner here. I want to check out his build as he plays this out, because I want to see like exactly how he's doing this, if he's playing it right. Yeah, he wants to quick drop here to get Sandskimmer Fab just a little bit faster, but it's not a huge deal. So there's Sandskimmer Fab. Soldiers come out. And he actually flipped these guys to RUs first, which is interesting. Or wait, sorry. No, I'm just being stupid. These guys were on RUs right from the gate, which is what you should do for a rail rush. By the way, this was his pick, right? Yeah, it was. So, if he was planning on doing, Rail Rush, this is definitely the map he wanted to pick for it, so I like that. This maybe is one that rsabo should have considered banning from him. Skimmer Fab is done, he starts producing immediately. He's gonna get some long distance miners as well. And these days I've decided, unless you're like only building heavy rails, you really want to have them on CUs basically the whole time, because getting that second PC timing is really important. Is that 20 fleet cap? It looks like that's where he's going to be when he gets the rail tech started. And for rsabo, once again, it's going to be AV tech. See, I think in this case he wants to go for rails before he gets fleet cap 45, actually. But that does reduce the number of skims that you've got, so it's up to you what you want to how you want to play this. I think having one guy on CUs is going to be better though, just because otherwise you don't have the money for a second PC as fast as you'd like it. Anyway, now he can get another skim before he needs fleet caps. That's obviously nice for him as well. LEV's going to try and come up and trade on him here. You should really keep building though. This is something that's important in a rail rush, is to continue to come back to that PC and build units as fast as you can. Because if you fall behind on the strikecraft numbers, it's going to be very, very hard to finish the rush. Rail tech's on the way, though. Fleet Cap 45 needs to be teched here. Yeah, but he'll get that in a moment. He'll try to build a skim and find out that he's blocked. This guy, unfortunately, idle as well here. Oh, dear. This is a very nice trade for Cabel, though. Definitely what he wants to do here. Now, if he gets the turret set down in this position, that's not so bad for him either, but it looks like the base runner is actually going to back off. Forcing your opponent to set turret is actually not really bad. But again, Fleet Cap 45 really needs to be here, because he's got the tech, but he doesn't have the capacity for it. And actually, after he gets Fleet Cap 45, he'll have the money for a second PC. I would just do it immediately, but he really needs to click. This is absurdly late now. Okay, there we go. Finally getting Fleet Cap 45 up now. There's no production upgrade this time, but AV Tech was finished, so rsabo is kind of committed to that, I think. The thing is, this is a very bad map for Assault Ships versus Rail Rush, so I think this is going to be totally fine for Cabel. He does queue up that second PC, I like to see that. He lost a lot of pressure for going slow like that, though. I mean, like, let's say he was playing against Discara, you know, carry production upgrade would be done. He's stacking up LAVs at this point, so you really want to be more, like, faster to get Fleet Cap than that. So, a bit of macro failing here, but at this point he does have the composition that he wants, where if these LAVs want to all in on the Assault Railgun, they're going to have to trade badly against the skims here. Which is exactly what you see happening. Now, there is a turret set up in the backline, though, so that's going to be sort of the defensive bulwark for rsabo, but that means that he's going to be stuck on one base if he has to hide on that. He just wants to use this as like a safety net, but he really wants to get that carrier forward. He wants to get out. And if he's stuck back in his first base trying to defend against this rail rush, it's going to be hard times for him. Yeah, this is I don't know what this trade is supposed to be for rsabo. He wants to get these Senskivers out here, though, because he remembers about this turret. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna lose one for nothing there, so they both kind of did that. Okay, there's finally that first production upgrade, but I've got to imagine he's floating. But he's actually not. Wow. That's kind of crazy. He really, like, he needs to keep these LAVs alive. Right now, he's not losing anything, per se. So, oh no, he's gonna move the carrier. So once you move the carrier, now you're losing eco on the main base. That's really, really bad for you. How often do I stream content? Not every day, but multiple times a week, I guess I would say. Unfortunately, I don't really have, like, a schedule set up, so you just have to follow to, like, catch me when I go live. Most of what I do is casting the tournament games as well, so when there's not like an active tournament running, I don't do a whole lot of streaming either. Turret's actually getting hits on these assault railguns now, so they're taking damage. Yeah, he really doesn't want to chase into this turret so much, right? But the thing is, this rail on high ground actually can kill the turret eventually. But it's best he just stacks up here and waits. He doesn't have to commit in. And if his opponent picks up this artifact, he'll see this now. He should send the skims down to deal with it, because he doesn't really need them in this front line here. Leaving, yeah, see this, like, he really just wants to kill this turret, but he doesn't have to commit so hard into this, right? And he lost vision on it there, too. It's pretty yike. Okay, he's gonna want to refocus fire on this thing now. Oh, he didn't hit it with that volley. Okay, he does finally get that turret, but look how many LAVs skims he's lost. If rsabo wasn't just throwing these LAVs like he keeps doing, he'd have so many that he could overrun and win the game right now, so definitely a bit yike for rsabo to be throwing the LAVs, and very yike for Cabel to be throwing his skims as well like that. At this point, though, with the turret dead, he finally has kind of the setup on the board that he wants, though, right? He's got these heavy rails in a high ground position, wailing on that carrier. He's got the assault rails and skims to deal with it if his opponent tries to push in on him. Generally, when you retreat on this dune, though, you want to retreat down this path, though. But this is okay. Again, the LAV is going to try to Desperado here, but there's just no way that they make that work. Assault rails chunk another LAV there. There's not really much left here for rsabo. That carrier will die eventually. You can put power in the armor to try and save yourself a bit of time, but the time's not going to be worth a whole lot at this point. Right now, the skims can basically dive under the carrier to kill things if they want it, so... Assault Rail's getting involved as well. And that should be one more volley to end it. Maybe one more. Nice shot, Rokel. And that carrier does fall, giving Cabel the second game, bringing him 2-0 in this series. Looking good, on track to move up to the finals of the lower bracket, so... Nicely played there by Cabel. I do always love to see a rail rush, you know that. Not an easy build to pull off either, so I'm always a bit impressed when people are willing to go for it, because it does have some inherent risk. Don't feed skims, don't feed skims. Yeah, basically, I mean, it's very tough in a rail rush. You have to be... Oops, popped the heel there. I've done that before. It's tough in a rail rush. You have to be very aware of, like... How do I say? Very aware of when you need to trade and when you don't need to trade, right? When you don't need to trade, you really have to just wait there. And your opponent should feel pressure to come to you if you play it right. And when you do need to trade, you got to make that decision right away because those windows shrink. So it's definitely it's a bit of a tough build to pull off. So I always like seeing people try for it. He may be doing it again, by the way. We do have Sandscreamer Fab coming out now. He's got the money to actually build an LDM off this PC as well. So I mean, it's unfortunate Sandscreamer Tech is late, but I would do that actually. Just drop these guys and then build another salvager to go onto the third base or second, that is. Looks like he's gonna put his salvagers over here close to his extraction, though. I might actually go on this side instead, because if your opponent does ever counterattack, you're gonna want to control his extraction zone, but it's probably a small deal. I don't think it matters too much. Cabel here, man after my own heart. Rail Rush 3 games in a row. No, I take it back. He goes into his soul chips, actually. Okay, cool. So he is gonna mix it up a little bit here, then. It's going to be production upgrade coming up from rsabo here, though. He is making a lot of LAVs this time, moving out across the field. And I've got to say, it warms my heart to see that he's taken my advice to not go, like, LAV into SC. Right? He's definitely, he's diversifying a bit here. Or, that's not the right word. He's refining his build, right? So he's actually going for LAVs here when he gets the, he's actually going for LAVs here when he gets that tech. Unsure if I could rail rush fast enough on this map. You know, curiously, I don't think rail rush really cares too much about the rush distance like AVs do and stuff. Because, like, with rail rush, you have a chance to win even when your opponent has the answer for you, whereas with AVs, they don't really have a chance to do damage if your opponent has the answer for them. And so with the AVs, they need to be there, like, right away. So you don't really want to do it on a map with a really big rush timer, but, or, like, rush distance, that is. But, like, I think on Torrent Crater, it's actually okay. Because, or sorry, with Rail Rush, it's actually okay, even on Torrent Crater, which is a very big map. Because you can probably get away with getting there pretty late and still getting damage in. Anyway, this will be a fun kind of variant to the Assault Chip Rush where he actually goes for a lot of skims instead of just getting Assault Chips only. He's going to need to get Fleet Cap 45 here. I'd like to see that before the armor upgrade, but to each their own. At any rate, that Assault Chip here is going to stop the LAVs from trading if he gets there on time, but he really wants to kite with these skims, get behind that hill. Oh dear. Actually, this could be bad now, because Armor 1 is done, but he could still lose to these LAVs here right now. But looks like they're just going to take one more skim and then get out of there. Fleet Cap 45, though, definitely what's missing here. Yep, there it is. And then he may go back to ref mode at this timing, but we'll have to see. Actually, having lost all those skims, he maybe could have gone without that, but... Filled with regret, waiting to get rail rushed alone. Now he wants to be careful with this turret. Once he sees it, you gotta pull back. Oh gosh. Ooh. Yeah, so that turret can be sieged though, because obviously you can hide behind the dune all the way to here, and then you'll be like right next to it. So you can just pop up, pop the turret out, right? Again, they're glass cannons. They have hardly any help at all, so... I think they could, yeah, I think they could, but he's a little bit too afraid to, which is kind of nice for Cabel. With good kiting, the assault ships possibly can deal with this, but once he builds up like 4 or so, then he's gonna be okay. Because at that point, the AoE for the assault ships is gonna be really, really, really deadly against these LAVs. Just has to be careful about this turret, right? He's gonna try to kind of get around at this side, but I don't think he can hide behind the dune at all. And I mean, he takes damage from the assault ships. Really gotta worry that LAVs are just gonna jump you here. Rail tech is done as well now, which gives him the armor break. So this is a place where these LAVs are gonna trade really well against the assault ships. So you really need to probably back away at this point. You could try some silly one-base siege play, but I don't think it works very well. Yeah, he wants to continue the rush though, it seems. He's got that second PC started. Doesn't want to let this base runner get out either. But this is actually good if he can kill it, because obviously, if you can get rid of the artifact pressure, that's always nice, but also that means no more turrets. But these LAVs could actually get in here if they wanted to. Assault ships trying to plug up the gap fast as they can here, but I don't think they're going to be on time to catch these guys, plus they have the boost. Yeah, so they're going to get out. So this base runner may be able to extract them. Looks like it is going to be a transition to ref mode then for Cabel. He just has to worry about this counterattack from the LAVs though. But bringing this guy back home, not a bad move. Carrier can go over here and take the space. But yeah, rsabo M.E.S definitely stopped him from rushing here. The only thing that he could do better then is, like, at this point, you want to be thinking, okay, if my opponent can't continue the rush, when am I safe to go up for eco? Because if you can get your economy started before your opponent, you're definitely going to be in a good way. This is pretty late in the game, actually, to be finally giving up the rush, which is kind of always fun to see for me. It's like 7 minutes in. We're just now getting like ref mode started for the Gaussian players, so. Power and range would be nice here for Cabel, of course, but he really just wants to be careful he doesn't lose any more salvagers to these LAVs. You don't ever want to be losing salvagers. I think that's obvious, but yeah, you can pull them back and they'll be safe, and then. They cost a lot of money to rebuild, so if you can just keep them alive, then putting them back onto the base later, you're totally okay. I don't know if this assault ship can actually take this fight here. We do have damage ups on these LAVs, but he believes though. I don't know. Looks like he'll probably be okay here. I think he loses one assault ship over there. Oh shoot, I don't know what's happening over here though. Looks like the LAVs jumped onto the assault ships. They've definitely taken losses, but wow, they lost all but 2 there. But they do manage to clear out those assault ships at least. Another turret is set up here for rsabo M.E.S. He really does not want to die to these assault ships at all. But that's going to let Cabel get up onto 3 base really quick here. So, I think so, yeah. What are his upgrades like? Just damage 1 against armor 2. No, I really don't think LAV needs a nerf. I've got to say, especially with like the production time on skimmers changing, I think LAV are in really not a bad place at all right now. The complaints that like they do too well against armored units, I really don't think are very founded. I agree. Yeah. I come here to learn but get confused. Oh, careful, rsabo. Again, like once you push in here, that turret can just have a field day with you. Yeah, I mean, he can at least make this work by staying right here, where he's, like, covered by the dune. He can't be hit by that, railgun. Still no mag excel, but you wouldn't expect that here. Ooh. No. It's true, yeah. I use a lot of terminology, so it can be a little hard to. It can be a little dense, I guess, if you're not like in the know about what all these things mean. Oh, that's too bad, Space Wolf. Cabel gonna want to set up this third base here for sure, but oh, he's got interceptor tech. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely on top of things. I didn't even notice that he had gotten into this. It's gonna be Assault Cruiser Fab coming up from rsabo once again. He used that last game, or last game he died. He used that game 1. These assault ships could probably be killed at this point, but I don't know. Yeah, he's got armor 1 now. Oh boy, this is always funny. Looks like oh no, you should grab this artifact at least, because you know your opponent is trying to get this. So just like yoink the artifact here, and then you can set up a turret. That's gonna be better. Oh, it's so yeah, he's gonna let Cabel pick up the artifact here. Assault ships here. Wow, look at the AoE on those LAVs there. He is gonna. Oh, and the railguns are getting killed too. Oh man. Yikes. So he does kill the assault ships eventually, but he loses a lot there actually, much more than I thought he would. Int's gonna kind of run over the base runner's anti-air here, so a little bit unfortunate, but they didn't end up dying, so he's a bit lucky there. He's got his third PC coming out now, just Cabel, but he's really smashed the army for his opponent, and this base has only got 2 RUs. 1. Oh man. Yeah, so his money situation is just a lot better than rsavo's here. Precision Bomber Fab, that's going to be a very, very spicy call. And we do have Assault Cruiser anti-air coming out for rsavo, but that's going to be anti-air that he can't necessarily rely on, because if the interceptors kill off the... Or sorry, if the bombers kill off the assault cruisers, right? We could be in for a bad time. So I kind of was hoping he would use the interceptors on that base runner, but I'm seeing that this was definitely the right thing to do to kill those railguns. So he's done a good job there. We do have an anti-air turret post set up now for rsavo, so he's got a bit of anti-air back at home. Yeah, well, everyone does when they're new. you have to play this game quite a lot to really get good at it, I think. It's not as hard as a game like RM, I would say, but it's definitely a game where skill expression can be like really, really big, so. Fair, yeah, but I think that like being new to the game is more to do with like how much you've played rather than how long you've owned it. Sorry, I was stretching there. Afterburner Tech coming out on the interceptors now for Cabel. Now, Bomber Fab is done. I don't know why he's going for missile ships. He really doesn't need that. But I'd love to see him build those bombers, because this assault cruiser, it's just asking to get blown up. So, and he doesn't know about that, of course. He doesn't see that assault cruiser tech is done. But if you're gonna tech a unit, you really want to build it too. I mean, that's just you know, that should be obvious. But maybe armor 3 here would be good as well on these assault ships. But yeah, we're always looking for new players. I mean, I would be really happy if you would start playing and like start getting some matches in and then maybe join some tournaments. But I see. Yeah, it's just if he does go for air, you have the lead on him by a pretty large margin, so it's unlikely that he would make that call at all, let alone, you know, actually succeed with them. I mean, he would have to get like all 9 of them before he could really fight you, I think. Just watched UK? Pfft, heresy. Now, this is where the fight's gonna brew here, though. Cabel wants to stop this extraction from coming out here. The assault cruiser seems like it should be a counter to these assault ships, but actually, I think the assault ships win this fight. But especially if the interceptors choose to get in there, you just see that you see the overcharge being used on the assault cruiser there. But here come the interceptors. Instantly dead, right? Like I said, he's just asking to be blown up, so. And that's with Assault Cruiser anti-air too, but the burst damage on these interceptors is a little bit too big. Down goes the base runner. Down goes the assault cruiser too. And now Cabel's ready to push on this flank actually if he likes, but there is still that turret up, so it's gonna be a little hard. Oh my gosh, the LAVs actually killed an interceptor on the way back home. That's hilarious. Well, good shot, boys. You can always count on a Seagull to get it done for you, right? Heal popped on the base runner there just to buy a bit of time. These assault ships are here. Actually, the LAVs are getting quite a bit of healing out of this, though. It's funny. I don't know if they can save this. Cable's gonna do his best here. He's microing out of his mind, but actually only making things a bit slower for himself. Looks like this guy doesn't actually have line of sight onto the base runner, though, which is a little bit awkward. But now that you've seen assault cruisers, I think bombers are even better. You should really be going for that tech. And rsabo still doesn't know about the bombers, so they could really tear him a new one. He's got missile battery tech, I suppose, but he hasn't built any. Okay, yeah, we do have oh wow. A lot of bombers on the queue here. Oh yeah, I forgot, because Cable's got a huge amount of money, actually. At this point, like, teching into other things is going to be nice, too, like, get power 3. I mean, you got the money, you should always be spending it, so... Yeah, but you get used to that eventually. It just takes a long time to get used to floating. Missile ship here can dump a barrage as well, but it's important that the assault ships split away from each other, because if they don't, then they take a lot of AoE from this assault cruiser. But the bombers are going to show up here, and they're really going to wreck him. Oh, I think you're doing better. You just need some time, but like your play is definitely improving, I would say. Same with rsabo. Question is, which one of you will improve faster, huh? Uh-oh, interceptor kind of derping around here, gonna get killed. This is actually an anti-air turret post as well, but that's kind of nice for Cabel because that turret post is not gonna do anything about that assault ship. So this should be another dead base runner if he wants to chase it down. Only thing he's got to do then is just not throw his carrier here against assault cruisers. He should know there's something there, but he hasn't actually seen what it is yet. So I don't know why everything's revealed here, but oh, maybe it's actually shooting. But yeah, he's gonna want to make sure he doesn't just like die to this carrier all in here. So power 3, really good choice, right? And then stopping this artifact is gonna be paramount as well. But he's got that assault ship, so it would have to be a mistake if he didn't stop that one. This base runner here just kind of being left to the wolves, I guess. So down he goes. But I think rail tech would not be bad either, and you've got time probably to tech this and get some heavy rails up. Uh-oh, he better not let that artifact out. Looks like the bombers want to make a play for this assault cruiser, though, and they should do just well. Donk. Okay, I'm gonna want to dock this guy now. He may not get out, but I mean, it's worth it to kill that AC. He wants to double commit here, though. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe he can do this. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's just a lot of anti-air, right? Look at that. Or a lot of AoE, that is, sorry. He's actually gonna kill, he loses 2 bombers, but he kills both of the assault ships. Or assault cruisers, that is. He did stop the artifact as well, so that's very good for him. He wants to pull the ints out now, though, because I think they're just kind of gonna die here. But again, power 3 rail tech, that's what he needs here to finish this off. This is still not over. He's in a really good spot, because he's definitely damaged the push from his opponent here, but... Uh-oh, these guys are gonna die too. Unfortunately, I think they're already forfeit. I think the carrier is going to try to go in on this assault cruiser here. Heal ability would be nice for the base runner, just buy a little bit of time if that's what his opponent is shooting at. And then missile ship barrage always is good for dumping a bit of damage down, but he should actually push on this side and see if he can get something done there. Power 3 is teching now, but again, railfab would be really nice for him here. But yeah, just imagine if he had like 10 more assault ships on the field right now or something, right? Like, that's how much money he's got, so... All the anti-air is dead, though. Okay, another missile battery just popped, but there's not really anti-air here for rsabo to contest. And his carrier definitely just does not have as much power, that's for sure. They're both on power 2. Cable's about to finish 3, but he's got 3 artifacts, and rsabo's only got 1, so this is definitely a fight that he wins. Question is, what is he building in there, but I can't really see. For Cabel, though, definitely putting power into the healing would be a big deal here. Especially this is risky because like if an AC pops out here and then instantly barrages you, you could just die, right? So you really gotta be aware of that. The bombers are gonna dump a lot of damage though. Okay, he does put power into the healing now. Getting uncomfortably close though, and as you can see, like that was risky times, but he does manage to get the kill. And that will bring Cabel to 3-0. He wins the series and advances to the lower bracket finals. Remember, this is his first tournament, so this is quite a good showing here. So, yeah, good games. He definitely has things to work on. He can float less. He can, you know, work a little bit on unit control, and I think, like, getting the correct unit for, like, the situation, like, right on time rather than just a little bit later. But he's doing well. This is a very encouraging game. Undefeated tournament. Well, didn't you lose group stage games? I'm pretty sure. Oh boy. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. And as for stream, that too will probably